So, for some reason, I noticed that whenever I record, I have to let my camera like warm up because if not, it's gonna be like all choppy and like glitchy, and then like one moment I'm gonna be down here, the next I'm gonna be like. But anyways, what's up, guys? Welcome. So today we're gonna be reacting to a couple videos, nothing crazy, that come from our brethren, SSG Animations, which do some very cool, scary animations. And I already got permission to react to their content, so it's not like it's an issue. So I shouldn't be getting copyright striked. I have a photo of the email, everything. So, right now, I'm just letting my camera warm up a bit, and I'll be back in a second. So I'm gonna go dim the lights, and I'll be back in a second, beautiful. Sorry if that made you uncomfortable. I'm sorry. I hope y'all can see me well. If not, I'm so sorry. I apologize, but I really hope y'all can see me well, right? Right, chat. I don't know why I'm talking like this is a stream. Anyways, so let's see. 1.
My name is Adam. I'm 18 years old, and I'm not
Terrence?
someone who likes a lot of drama. I live in a small
Is that
town where
Terrence
everything seems to
Nicholson?
repeat itself day after
I don't know why I
day.
said it like that.
Everything's
I mean,
always the
Terrence
same.
Nicholson.
No big surprises. My sister Emma is 10 years old, and since her parents work late, I have to pick her up from school. No big deal, really. Just a walk of about 15 minutes that we always do together. The route is always the same. We pass the same street in front of the same houses. One of them, however, always caught my eye. Not because it's particularly old or strange, but because in its garden, there's something I don't like, even though I haven't told anyone. A scarecrow with a pumpkin hat. The body is simple, with tattered clothes and out.
What's the issue with a scarecrow? Like, to be honest, a person could put up in their garden whatever they want to put up is their decoration. What's wrong with a scarecrow? Like, it is kind of creepy. Like, what's wrong with you? But like, what's wrong with a person wanting to put what they want there? But hey,
Stretched arms like any other scarecrow. But what makes me uncomfortable is that the pumpkin always seemed to be looking in different directions. Every time I pass by, the head is turned a different way. At first I thought someone was in charge of moving it from time to time. But after so many times, I started to sense something else. Something about that thing disturbed me, although I didn't exactly know what. Worst of all, sometimes I felt like it was looking directly at me, as if its empty pumpkin eyes were pointed at me, watching me.
you don't gotta take the same route every day. You could take different routes. If this makes you uncomfortable, just walk the other way. It is not that hard. It is quite simple, actually. But like, if this was me personally, I'm walking the other way. That's just me though.
It was absurd, but that feeling made me walk faster every time. I never told Emma about it. She didn't pay much attention to the scarecrow. I think I was the only one who noticed it that much. She didn't pay much attention to the scarecrow. Something inside me told me it was better not to talk about it, not to give it more importance than I had already had in my mind. 3 days ago, like any other day, I went to pick up Emma from school. The day had been exhausting, and the truth is the last thing I wanted to do was go through that damn house again. But I did.
Then walk the
as
other
usual.
way.
However, this time something was different. The scarecrow was gone. I stopped dead in front of the house. I looked around, trying to see if he had been moved somewhere. There was no sign of him. I stood still, checking to see if he had been put somewhere else. Then Emma tugged on my arm. Emma asked me what was wrong, but I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to scare her, so I told her it was nothing and just kept walking. But suddenly, a man appeared in front of us. He was an old man, with dirty clothes and messy hair. The old man had a blank stare and a tremor in his hands. We stopped in our tracks.
Have you seen him?
I didn't understand what he meant. Emma moved closer to me, as if sensing something wasn't right.
Shit.
Have you seen the Scarecrow? It's gone.
Who is
I
you?
replied without thinking too much, just wanting the man to move away.
Hold up.
But instead, he took a step closer to us, a crooked
Nah,
smile
bro.
on his face.
Be
I would have
careful.
punched him.
He's mad at you.
I would have punched
He
him.
doesn't like you looking at him so much.
Wait, you're the one who's always moving the Scarecrow?
No, I don't touch him. He won't let me touch him. Seriously, though, be careful.
I just got
He talks to me in my
goosebumps.
sleep. He tells me you look at him. If he's gone, maybe it's for something.
I just got goosebumps. Oh my lord, bro. Nah, cause that's not funny, bro. Like, I wouldn't even stop to talk to this man, to be honest. But like, yo, this is genuinely giving me goosebumps. Like, my hairs are like, I swear to God. I swear to God. Sorry, God. But I swear, yeah.
Thing.
Uncomfortable and looking out for Emma, I made us keep walking and ignored him. Emma was scared, but I told her not to worry. There are always crazy people on the street. But that same night, I couldn't stop thinking about the old man. How did he know I used to watch the Scarecrow? When I went to sleep, the first thing that came to my mind was the Scarecrow. The pumpkin with its empty smile. And the eyes that always seemed to be more attentive than they should.
Next time you see it,
That feeling
Just
followed
burn
me
it.
until I finally fell asleep. That's when the nightmare started. I was in my room, unable to move. My eyes were open, but my body was completely paralyzed. I tried to move my hands and feet, but nothing. Terror invaded me when I
Hey,
realized
yo.
that something was in the room with me. In front of
what was that on bro's face?
me, in the corner, was the Scarecrow. But it wasn't the same one I had seen in the garden of the house. No, this one was alive. Its eyes, or the holes where they should be, glowed with a strange light, and its gourd seemed to writhe as if something was moving inside it. I tried to scream, but no sound came out of my mouth.
Oh, he was having
Then,
paralysis.
from the holes in the pumpkin, worms began to come out.
Nah, because hold
First
up.
one.
Because I was gonna tell bro, like, you gotta remember, like, the clothes are flammable, hay is flammable, the hat is flammable. Like, I know you might have to, like, risk your life, but, like, burn him. Burn him. But, you know, he just said he had sleep paralysis, so doesn't really matter.
One, then hundreds, thousands. They slowly advanced toward me, crawling across the floor, across my bed, and across my body. I felt them crawling into my ears, into my mouth, into my eyes. It was an indescribable horror. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. I could only feel how those creatures entered my body. And then, I woke up.
Shit.
I woke up drenched in sweat, my heart beating a mile a minute. It took me a moment to realize that it had all been a dream. I staggered to my feet, my head spinning, and went to the kitchen for a glass of water to calm down. When I returned before going back to bed, I looked out the window into the courtyard. What I saw froze me in my tracks. There, in the middle of the garden,
Burn it. Burn. Fire. Burn.
was the Scarecrow.
Bro, tweaking.
My first impulse was to go out.
Bro, tweaking.
I wanted to see it up close, To confirm that it wasn't another nightmare, I took courage and opened the door, walking towards the pumpkin that was
hope you
perfectly
die.
placed at the top. I looked at it closely. The smile was still there, empty and crooked, but there was nothing strange about it. No worms, no light, just a pumpkin, motionless. But when I turned around to go back, I felt a pressure on the back of my head. Something was squeezing my skull hard.
Isn't that the old man? Isn't that the old man? Isn't that the old man?
The pressure
That's
was
how his skin
increasing.
looked.
It felt like my
I
head was
tweaking?
going to explode. The bones began to crunch and the pain became unbearable. The Scarecrow was squeezing me. It was moving
Fight
as if it were
back!
a person. I could feel my skull cracking into 1,000 pieces. My eyes were popping out. I could only see red. The blood coming out of my eye socket.
So you gonna tell me that bro felt somebody grab his head and he was never like, yo, I should probably turn around and fight this dude? Nah. My skull was cracking into thousands of pieces. Like, fight back. I'm telling you, if they put me in these situations, I'm not dying. I'm really not dying. And I'm not even cocky. I'm just intelligente. I'm telling you.
It blurred all my vision. And then, suddenly, I woke up again. My breathing was agitated, my body trembling.
Yo, you hear that
I
screaming in
had
the
fallen
back?
asleep again. Or maybe I had never woken up first place. I had no idea what had happened. I looked at the clock. It was early morning, but I couldn't go back to sleep. I got up again, this time more calmly, trying to convince myself that everything that was happening wasn't real, that they were just dreams provoked by the old man and his words. I went to the courtyard again, looking for some sign of what I had seen before. But there was nothing. The Scarecrow was gone.
Better not be none.
I returned to my room, calmer, though still with an uneasy feeling. But as I entered, I fell to the floor in surprise. I pinched myself to see if it was a dream. But no, I was awake. On my bed rested a pumpkin, identical to the one in the Scarecrow.
So look, about that part of that first story, this could have all been dodged from the beginning if he would have just done what I would have done, which is walk the other way. Yes, good job. Like, bro was staring at it every day. And he says, it was making me uncomfortable. If it's making you uncomfortable, go the other route. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Adding an extra 3 minutes to your walk is better than dying to whatever that is. Bro. Main characters, bro. Main characters. Anyways, on to the next one.
What I am about to tell you happened on Halloween. It's not something I like to tell you because, to be honest, I hate to remember it, but I will. That day I was alone in my house.
Intense music.
The clock read 1:45 a.m. and I was watching a random movie, more to pass the time than out of real interest. The sound of the television filled the space, the only thing that broke the solitude of the place. That's when I heard the first knock on the door. 3 knocks, dry, firm. At first, I didn't think much of it. I thought maybe it was the wind or some prankster neighbor. It was Halloween, after all. I didn't feel like getting up, but after the second
Get
knock,
the chop!
louder than the first, I stood up. I walked to the door unhurried, but curious. I opened it. There was no one there, just the empty
Get the
street.
chop!
I looked both ways, making sure there was no one hiding, but all was silent. I closed the door and went back to the couch. As soon as I sat down, I felt a chill. It wasn't the typical instinctive fear, but a literal chill. I noticed that the living room window was open.
Me a chill.
I closed it just an hour ago. Something didn't fit. I walked over ready to close the window again, but when I looked down at the floor, I noticed something that hadn't been there before. Footprints. Muddy footprints led from the window to the closet at the back of the room. I stood still, not knowing how to react. My heart was pounding harder with every...
Leave! Bro, somebody's knocking mad hard on your door. You're like, no, it's Halloween. It could be a trick-or-treater. It could be somebody just joking around. No! If you have all the lights off, that means leave me alone. That's like one of the first rules. If all the lights are off, that means don't knock on this door. So that's the first issue. Then they keep knocking and knocking and knocking. You open a door to check. They should have sliced you right there. That's your first mistake. They should have sliced you right there. Thank God they didn't. Then he closes the door. Sits back down. Back down. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I'm kind of cold. Bro sees the window open. He sees it. And it's like, I wonder what could that be? And there's muddy footprints too? That's so weird. I'm so glad I don't have friends like this. Get better. Like, if you have a friend like this, get better friends, bro. Get better friends. They will risk your life. Because they're low IQ. Anyways.
Every step I took toward the closet. I grabbed a field hockey stick I had nearby, my only makeshift defense, and moved forward slowly. The muddy footprints looked fresh, almost wet, as if someone had just walked by.
Call the police!
My mind tried to come up with a rational explanation, but there was
Christ.
none. With the field hockey stick raised, I took a deep breath and yanked open the closet door. It was empty. I stood there waiting for something, but nothing happened. I was confused. There was no footprints. That's when I noticed something strange. At the bottom...
I'm sorry for pausing it so much, but like, he doesn't know what this intruder has. They could have a gun. They could have a knife. Bro pulls up with this hockey stick. Is that even... It looked more like a cane. Was that a hockey stick? I'ma check. But anyways, I hope he dies. He deserves it. Not like that. Not like that. Chill, dude. Oh my God.
Bottom of the closet, there was a pair of slippers covered in mud. They weren't mine. Before I could process what that meant, I felt a metallic chill on my neck.
You see?
A knife.
You see what I said?
I couldn't see it, but I knew it was behind
And him
me.
with that.
I didn't have...
I told you. I told y'all. Bro, I told you. You don't know what they got. And you going with that weak hockey stick, bro? What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that? Bro thinks he's John Wick. Bro thinks he's him. Like, no, bro. Now look at you. Now, you see that face? I'm telling you.
Have time to react before something wet and rough ran across my cheek. A tongue. I was lonely on Halloween. It was a husky voice behind me, very close to my ear. I thought I'd visit someone who was awake so late, and luckily I saw you from the window watching TV. I have my savings in a box under the dining room cabinet. You can take it all. Don't hurt me. It's not about your stuff, buddy. I just want to have a good time cutting pumpkins. Where's your party spirit? What? Do you have any pumpkins? Halloween.
You just put a knife to bro's neck for pumpkins?
Was his excuse, sure, but he didn't seem to be interested in decorating. Still, I answered yes. Anything to keep the conversation going. He led me to the kitchen, his knife at my neck the whole time. There was the pumpkin. It was one of those big ones, perfect for decorating, but at that moment it looked like the entrance to something much worse. Listen, kid, I've done this many times. I'm very quick with a knife, and I'm behind you. One false move, and I'll cut you like a pumpkin. Understand?" I nodded. He gave me room to start cutting, but always with a knife at the ready. Every time I tried to make a cut, my hand trembled. "Come on, cut the damn pumpkin! Faster!" I cut as fast as I could, but he demanded more and more. He was having fun, but with each passing second he grew impatient and angry. His tone became more aggressive. "Faster!" I was having a hard time keeping control of my hands, but I kept chopping as best I could. Then he exploded. "How the hell can you be so slow? You're making me nervous! Faster! Faster!" At that moment, I felt the knife stab into my leg. The pain was intense, as if my skin and muscles were tearing. I really
'Cause they were?
doubled over in pain. I didn't know if I was going to survive that night. The blow was unexpected, but it had also knocked the psychopath off balance. His knife was stuck in my leg, and even though mine had fallen out from the surprise, I could still do something to defend myself. Without thinking, I turned around and punched him in the face. The impact gave me a chance to move. Limping, I ran down the hallway, hearing his footsteps behind me, but not as fast as I had hoped. I had lost some balance after the blow. As I tried to move forward, I prayed that I had forgotten to lock the front door, which happened to me quite often. I made a last-ditch effort trying to get to the door. When I got there, I almost cried. It was locked. There was no time to look for it. The pain in my leg was unbearable, but I couldn't let it get to me. That hurt! His voice sounded amused, as if the pain made him happier. "But you broke the rules, so we won't play anymore." I thought that after saying that he would throw himself at me, but instead, he didn't move. I knew he was stalking me, waiting for me to make a mistake. I stood still for a second, listening. There were no footsteps, nothing. He was hiding, waiting for me to give up or attempt a desperate escape. I looked around for the key until I found it on the table. I was about to open it, but I realized something. The lock was listening intently to what I would do. If I tried to open the door, he would jump at me the moment I tried to turn the key. Without thinking too hard, I did something that could have cost me my life. I threw the key into the door. The sound of the key hitting the floor was enough. I watched as his figure darted from his hiding place toward the door, trying to stop what he thought was my escape. I took advantage of the distraction. With all the pain in my leg, I ran for the window. The adrenaline made the pain take a backseat. I clumsily opened the window, barely managing to open it wide enough to get out. Furious and realizing the deception, he ran in my direction, but not fast enough. I fell to the ground, hitting hard. My leg failed me, but I still crawled away from the house. I looked back as he reached the window, furious and disappointed. From my neighbor's house, I called the police. I could barely speak. The adrenaline was dropping and the pain was coming back in full force. I had no choice but to wait for them to arrive, eyes fixed on my house, expecting to see him leave at any moment. The police arrived quickly. They entered the house while I tried to remain calm, but when they came out, they looked at me with a frustrated expression. The man was already gone. The man who had tortured me, the knife, the muddy footprints, everything was gone. I was taken to the hospital where I was told it was a miracle that the cut on my leg had not been worse. Everyone underestimates a knife in the leg, but if it went through the wrong place, I could have died. In fact, with this cut, I almost bled to death. I was lucky that the neighbor had covered the wound. Several days passed. My leg wound was healing, although I was still limping. I was trying to get back to normal, although I slept poorly and avoided the living room window. I kept telling myself that everything was fine, that the worst was over. Then, one day, when I opened the door of my house, I found something on the threshold. A decoded pumpkin. I knew whose it was.
Oh, nah. Yo. I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie. Those stories were good. Like, the protagonist was stupid. But the stories were good. It, like, genuinely gave me chills. I started tearing up at one point. Jesus Christ. Yo, that was good. Good job, SSG. Good job. Damn. But hey, what's something we learned from this? Stop being dumb. I'm just saying. Stop being dumb. if the guy would have walked the other way in the first story, this would have never happened. This never would. What, Terrence Nicholson? This would have never happened. And then, in the second one, if you see somebody broke into your house, why are you going to search with a weak hockey stick? Anyways, these were some really good animations. I'm glad I was able to get permission to watch these. So, I'm hoping every single one of you have a very nice day. Please like, share, and subscribe. I hope every single one of you have a good day, or a good night, good morning, whatever, wherever you are. Have a great time, and I'll see you in the next one.
खत्म बाय बाय टाटा गुड बाय